guys were more active defensively than you were in game one. What did you see on film? What stood out?
Uh, I think we really did a great job of helping each other. Flying around. I think a lot of times when even things didn't go right and maybe they got to a spot they wanted to, you had guys Xing out and helping each other, and that's the most important thing. Really just think you had everybody making that extra effort.
How do you feel like that free safety rule is working out for you guys, and how adjusting have you seen them do to it?
They're making adjustments. And as they make adjustments, we make adjustments. Every game is different. That's the fun part about the playoffs. There's always someone making adjustments. So I've seen them make some adjustments, and I think I didn't play that role the whole game. We adjusted as they adjusted.
What about offensively? You as the facilitator, do you think that against OKC really works out more than other teams?
I think it's kind of the flow of the game, and the way the game was going the other day. We had guys that really had it going. The ball was flying around, and when the ball's flying around, that's when we're at our best. So it's not just like, I came into the game with the mindset of being a facilitator. The ball's flying around like that, and then you find other guys. Everybody's in a rhythm, and everybody's knocking down shots.
Draymond, what do you remember about experiencing watching Steph hit that 37-footer at OKC?
That was great. Fun moment. Just like I told y'all before, my favorite part was the afterwards. What he did after shot. Shot was cool, but what he did after was the fun part for me.
Draymond, they're calling you the mayhem over there because of the way you're playing defense and helping out on Durant and Westbrook. Kind of how you're floating on defense. What do you think? What do you think about being called the mayhem?
It is what it is. Whatever. I don't know.
How do you feel specifically about your defense?
I think my defense was good last game. The first game, I didn't think it was very good at all. I just wasn't in the places I needed to be. But last game, I did a better job of reading situations.
What do you take from a guy like Andre defensively? What kind of advice do they give you? How does the relationship works on defense?
It's great. He's a guy I've been learning from since he got here. He's a very smart player, very, very good defender. He understands angle. He knows where to be. He knows where everybody else should be. So, it's always great to be able to have a guy like that to learn from.
And how easier is it to have a guy like this on defense and to understand
everything easier? When you're playing with a guy like that, you end up just working together, and you kind of get to a point now where you don't even have to say anything, and you just know where each other's going to be. You know how to help each other out. So it's always fun to play with a guy like that.
After game one, Steve said that Thunders were pretty good at forcing guys to do isolations. So stepping into game two, is there anything you try to force them to do? Maybe isolation, maybe something like that?
As far as their offense or as far as us on offense? Them isolating or us? As far as
You isolate.
We know that that's not how we want to play basketball. We know we want to move the basketball, make sure everybody's involved, and make sure we're in a good rhythm. I think we did a better job of really focusing on that last game as opposed to just falling into, we got a mismatch. Let's go at that mismatch. Coach Kerr has a saying, it's going to come out in the wash. Even if you don't go to it somehow, it'll help the offense out. So that's kind of what we did last game.
What do you feel the mindset is heading on the road? Do you feel like you guys have figured some things out in this series, or do you feel like you're still up against it with more to get to?
Regardless of what you figure out, you're up against it. This is a very good ball club, so you can figure out as much as you want. Every game is a different challenge, So it doesn't really matter what you figure out. It's how you go play and the amount of effort that you bring into the game and the intensity level and the focus level. So it's not really about, at this point, what you know or what they know. It's who's going to come out and make the necessary plays to win the game. Our mindset is to go win games.
With that said, how much did dropping game one really help you guys guard against complacency for the rest of this series?
It definitely helps because now you have very little room for error. When you go up 2-0, you got a little room for error. And so we don't really have that room. So there's definitely can't be any complacency, which I'm not sure you want to lose game one for that to happen, but I think that can help us a lot.
But is there already such a thing as complacency in the playoff? Is there already such a thing that
There's a such thing as complacency in the human nature. In the average human being, there's a such thing as complacency.
I guess Steven Adams said you've peaked in your annoyingness. Can you tell when you're getting under a guy's skin a little bit?
Tell him thanks for letting me know. Appreciate it.
Do you think you've peaked though, or can you keep pushing him?
We'll see. I don't know. I'll just be me.
Can you tell when you get under a guy's skin a little bit? Can you tell when you get that edge for you when you sense that a little bit? Or?
I honestly don't really pay attention to it. I just be me, and if that's annoying, great.
So much has been made of your, the way that you play the game, your intensity. Especially in this postseason, I think with all the news outlets, those are the themes, especially on like national outlets. Do you get tired of kind of talking about your intensity at all, or maybe it's misunderstood and taken as maybe you are a jerk? I don't know.
I don't really care. I don't care what one person on 29 other teams in this NBA, in this league, think about me. It doesn't really matter. I care about what 14 other guys think about me. And if I'm doing something to bother them, then it's something that I need to address. If I'm doing something to bother the other 29 teams, then it's something they need to address. And that has nothing to do with me. So to answer your question, no, I don't care. It don't bother me one bit.
Do you think it's even possible to get in Steven Adams' head? It seems like he doesn't react to anything.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't go into the game saying, oh, I need to get in Steven Adams' head. I go in the game saying I need to do whatever I need to do to help this team win. And if that bothers someone else, then they need to figure out what they need to do. But my goal is definitely not to get in Steven Adams' head. I mean, if anybody is trying to get in KD and Westbrook head, you're not trying to, so no.
How long did it take you? I mean, when did you realize how big of a role you could have with this team when you first arrived with the Warriors?
I mean, I didn't never expect my role to be this big. You know, I've always been a confident person who believes in myself, but there's still so many things that has to work out in my favor, you know, for my role to be what it is. So, you know, it's unique. I'm thankful for it. It's a blessing.
Because how is the set of mind for players when you are drafted in the second round?
I'm not sure. I think it's different for everybody. But for me, it did something for me. It lit a fire under me that still isn't out, still burning. So
No complacency.
I think everybody get complacent with something at some point, but with that, I'm not.
Thank you.
Thanks, Draymond.